Thanks for joining me on Ask Dr. Dallas, and today we're doing our pizza crust for the Super Bowl party. And what we're going to do, look at these wonderful ingredients here. I always say when you're doing raw food, you're not just looking at ingredients, it's like you're looking into your medicine cabinet, because we have carrots, and carrots give you the potassium that helps to balance out the cellular structure. We have flax seeds, ground flax seeds with your omegas. Definitely has high laxative qualities to it. We have steel cut oats that have been grinded down to a flour. This is going to be the base of our pizza crust. And for women that are going through menopause, steel cut oats will keep you from being hot. All right, and then moving over here, we have more red foods that are going to get our blood moving, and our sun-dried tomatoes. Before we used sun-dried tomatoes, which have been soaked. When we're doing our tomato paste, when we're doing our flaxseed crackers, the thinner crackers, we want to soak them so that we don't have the difficulty in blending them. However, for the pie crust, the pizza crust, we're going to blend these, and then just has to turn inside of the mixture. So we're going to leave those in this dry state. We have cilantro, we also have dill, and we have jalapeno peppers, all green foods, all cleaning the blood. We have fresh garlic, we have fresh ginger, we have Italian seasonings, we have fresh dried basil, and of course we have olive oil. Now, when we're making the bread for the pizza crust, you can use these three ingredients and some olive oil and call it a day. That's going to give you a basic carrot pizza crust. When we begin to add the various herbs and the sun-dried tomatoes and the garlic and the other seasoning spices, that just depends on how you want it to taste. That's what I prefer, so that's what I use. Now, here's the easy part. This is going to get your mixture. We have 4 cups of the steel-cut oats. Some people will soak and sprout their steel-cut oats, their groats. I simply grind them down to a flour. The body can assimilate that because it's a flour. It's nothing to assimilate. It's been digested for you almost, so to speak. Then you dribble your olive oil onto the steel-cut oats, just so that you can begin to work that in to a pre-dough. I don't know why I always have one glove on. Then you begin to work that with your hands. And see what happens? It just begins to fold in and becomes pliable. And that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you get it all coated so that it no longer just has the dry appearance, but a moist appearance. So that's the beginnings of our creation here. Then we add an equal amount of carrot pulp. If you want to know where that comes from, go and take a look at the raw juices for carrot celery juice, and you'll see that we simply took the pulp that was left over out of the container, wherever it is, after making some carrot juice. Same carrot pulp that we use to make our carrot burgers. Now our dough is coming together. So we have the steel-cut oats, we have the carrot pulp. Now we have soaked flax seeds, which is going to give us our binder. How are we going to get this thing to stay together? It's going to stay together because the flax seeds are going to bind it. See what's happening there? Now we're getting a paste. This is going to be pretty much a wrap for those of you who simply want a basic pizza crust. You know, maybe you're going to do what we just did when we made the flaxseed crackers. It's a wonderful mixture combination. It's kind of like a salsa by itself. We simply put it onto a dehydrator sheet, and we're going to allow the moisture to evaporate to make crackers. But say you just want a basic plain pizza crust. You know pizza. Sometimes you get pizza that has pizza crust that's just plain pizza crust. Now they have pizza crust with cheese in the piping cheese and cheese in the piping. You have pizza crust that has herbs in it. So you start with a plain crust, and this is what you have. So you can take this, because it's in the perfect condition, to simply flatten it out and put it onto the dehydrator. but we're going to add a lot of stuff to our pizza crust because we like excitement. Dallas loves excitement, so we do exciting foods. I'm going to add the remaining olive oil because we are adding additional ingredients. And here they are: cilantro, fresh dill. I always say the more fresh ingredients you use for your pizza crust, the more it's going to taste like you're in Italy. Sun-dried tomatoes. We want it to be rather spicy, so we use quite a bit of jalapeno peppers. I have some fresh ginger, a couple of tablespoons of raw garlic, and my Italian seasonings, as well as dried basil. And then we simply begin to work all of this together. And you can begin to see that we're going to have a pizza crust that's going to taste like pizza by itself, which really is the idea here, guys. Because if you don't have time to make the cheese sauce, if you don't have time to make the tomato paste sauce, you have a lot of those ingredients added in. People like pizza because it tastes Italian. And so here you have something that is going to taste very similar to the pizza in and of itself. Now, here's a tip or two for you, because we're going to break in a moment here. I'll tell you what we're going to do during the break, but I don't want to bore you with that. Is that you have your basic pizza crust with lots of seasonings and herbs here. You can do several things from this point. If you want to be creative and let that creative side of you come out, you can actually take these and begin to make breadsticks. So all you have to do is wind them out into like a breadstick. You can twist them and do all kinds of things with them. Just to give you an idea, we are going to do pizza dough. Now, if we're doing pizza dough and we're going to be adding toppings to our pizza, we don't want it to be broken like that in texture. We want it to be smooth and flat. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add just a little more olive oil. Then I'm going to take individual sections and run them through the food processor. Now, all we're doing is trying to smoothen it out just to get the texture to be the way that we want it, because we're actually using it as a pizza crust. If you want to use it as breadsticks, you can do bread rolls. You can do a loaf of Italian bread. Possibilities are endless. Why? Because we use soaked flax seeds and you have that binder. If you want to do you an Italian, there's a new idea. An Italian meatball. You want to make meatballs? You can make them and you can roll them like that. And then you simply take some zucchini and use your vegetable slicer or your medallion, and then just make and put those on top. And then that tomato paste that we're going to do for our pizza, you can pour that on top. So as you can see, as you begin to experiment with raw food, the possibilities are endless. So we're going to pause for a moment, and then for those of you who want to see how it runs through, you can continue to hang in there. But for the rest of you, all we're going to do is we have our pizza dough now. You can add more carrot pulp, and you can add more of the steel cut oats, grind it, if you're doing pizza for like 4 parties or something. So I always say this has to sit on the dehydrator for 12 hours. If you're going to turn your dehydrator on for 12 hours, if you're going to chop up anything, because we have enough of the herbs that you can add another batch of carrot pulp, 4 more cups of dough, and 4 more cups of carrot pulp. And you probably wouldn't need to add any more seasoning mix, but it will net you probably 4 pizza loaves, an entire tray. So that's what we're trying to get you to understand. So for this and other recipes, check out Ask Dr. Dallas YouTube series, or go to our website, askdrdallas.com, so you can also get your Dallas popcorn at a discounted price for a case, and take that to your Super Bowl party and any other party that you're having. And you'll also get a copy of Fitness ABCs by Dallas with that as well, which has other tips and information for you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Ask Dr. Dallas.